you have a good life. So then the question is, why do you feel empty? Today, I want to talk about something that's personal to me, which is the dilemma of upper middle class. It's an ironic dilemma. The idea of having too much money and still extremely stressed. But the reason I want to talk about it is it's what our target audience is. You're probably watching to learn about syndications is that you heard of them. And the reason you heard of them is that you know someone who's doing syndications, and you probably know that person because you are relatively wealthy and you're trying to get to the next step. When I go out to dinner with my friends, they all work as engineering managers or directors at tech companies. They may own a small business or even a medium-sized large business, and they have quite a bit of disposable income. The common theme I have observed is that they are happy, but they are also stressed. They are stressed for a variety of reasons. So let me go through the psychology of those people. In Seattle, if you are an engineering manager at, say, Meta, and your spouse is an engineering manager at Netflix, you are making on a good year $500K each person, so $1 million a year. In Washington, there's no state income tax, so you minus all the taxes, which is only 33%. But for the sake of arguments, 40%, say $1 million, 40%, $600K. You buy a house that's in a nice part of town, that's $2.5 million, and your mortgage comes out to be about $10,000. So your savings is probably around $15,000 a month times 12. You save about $200K a year, which is impressive, like super impressive. And you don't really want to buy any single families because you don't want to manage them. If you're exceeding 200K of savings, you're like more than upper middle class, in my opinion. Let me qualify that statement. If you're not a financially free driven person, $200,000 is the upper limit. If you are super, frugal like me, yeah, you can save more than that. You can actually save 95% of your income if you want to. So what is the psychology of those people? They have a few things in common. Let's talk about the pros. One of the pros is that they usually have high IQ. They are especially intellectually amazing. They went through a lot of schooling. So they got there not because of fluke, because of their ability and hard work. You probably study very hard in school. You know how to put in the hours. You're not stranger to these things. The other thing that is going well for you is you do have a good, decent lifestyle in the sense that you take your kids to vacation, you have a very nice home, you drive a nice car, you eat at some nice restaurants, and you provide good standard of living. And you understand very well you are in the top 0.1 of the population, of the world population, and you're probably in the top 10 to 15% of the US population. You have a good life. So then the question is, why do you feel empty? There's something about that class of people, top 15, 25%, that feel somehow empty. This is not to judge that, oh man, you have so much money or whatnot. It's a real problem. So let's go down the problems list. Again, I'm talking about the psychology of this group of people, which is a group that I identify a lot with. The first problem is you feel very stressed at work. You get here because of your intellect and hard work and you're good at school. Absolutely. You take your work seriously because you work many years for this profession. I have a friend that is a principal engineer at Microsoft. They take their work seriously. They are very intelligent, but they are stressed at work. Being a principal engineer means you have to influence organization, you have to deal with bureaucracy, you have to deal with a slow process, and so there's a lot of burden. You may also have imposter syndrome. You are successful, but you also know that all these young engineers that just graduated could be as good as you many years from now. I'm talking about the tech industry in specific, but this extends to other areas. In technology, software engineers, they tend to be like baseball players. When you first graduate, you get paid a lot. And then it kind of slowly increases. And then after you're in your 30s, you kind of plateaus. It's really hard to get to the next level. And then there's a certain number of people that get to the next level and their pay accelerates all that. But it's still a job, so you're not gonna see exponential growth. You're always afraid in your 30s or 40s that the next generation is gonna overtake your job. Maybe it's not imposter syndrome, it's more like fear of replacement. The third problem that my friends have is they pay a lot of taxes. If you're in Seattle, good job. no Washington state income tax. But if you're in Bay Area or New York, you pay not just the federal tax, but the state and also the city tax. So you're probably paying 45 to 50% if you're on the high income bracket. And it is not fun to have that first paycheck. Like I remember at Amazon, I was supposed to get like 10 shares and I end up with like 4 shares. I was like, what the hell? They withhold more and then you get some refund back at the end of the year, but I'm not making money on that extra share or whatnot. This is like the first welcome to adulthood lesson you learn, and afterwards just get used to it. The fourth problem is that my friends experience, and I experienced that as well, is you are almost in this like Neverland. You are successful by the world standards, right? You're making 300, 400, 500K or, or 200K. You're making 6 figures, but you haven't quite made it and you cannot complain to others. That's one of those very interesting feelings. You couldn't complain to someone that, hey, I don't have money. You have money. Maybe based on your intelligence and your hard work that you maybe could have done more. Yet you're super busy at work, so you don't have the time for a side hustle. You look at all this like Amazon automation, create a blog, buy some rental properties. You did the math. You're like, man, this is gonna take me forever. This is a real feeling, is you can't really complain to others because people are gonna, like, what are you to complain about? The fifth problem is you may be frustrated at work and you work in one of those big companies that's usually driven by bureaucracy, politics, and so on. If you're not into politics and bureaucracy, which I am not, you might feel like the work is draining your energy. You probably move into management and you suddenly found yourself hating bureaucracy despite the prestige. Sixth reason, you are doing something deep inside in your heart that's not really contributing value to the world. But you do it anyway because that's what the company wants. Knowledge workers have this problem. Empathize with that emotion. That's not a fake feeling. I know how hard it is to not be able to talk to others about it. You were good in school. You were good at grinding. You were good at moving up the corporate ladder. But once you get into the corporate world, especially 10, 20 years later, you found how minuscule your existence is in the grand scheme of that company. Maybe you like your teammates and you do admire the folks that you work with. So there goes a day, a week, a month, a year, and a decade. You probably try picking up a side hustle, like you try to play with stocks, right? You day trade. You also try to buy a few rental properties. But if you work in these big companies, they are demanding as hell. It's not like you have that much time. And there's the thing about the knowledge working space, which is it's an infinite black hole. You can work your ass off, but there's like 20 more things you can work on. You can always work. It's just the reward is not proportional to how many hours you work. I was once trapped in that rat race. In fact, one of the hardest things for me to quit my job is like, I thought, or I believe, I just give me 6 more months before I get promoted to the next level. And then give me another 2 years before I become a director or whatever. Companies are evolutionary creatures too. What I mean by that is they have evolved to design their HR system to keep their employees for the long haul. If they gamify, they perfect their gamification such that they always keep you on the next promotion. Nothing wrong with that. They are just evolutionary creatures in this capitalist society. This video is a little bit dark. I'm saying that these are real problems, even though you cannot perhaps tell the world about it. But I do think these are real problems. In the comments, people are like, oh my God, like this person, I wish I could make 200K, let alone making 500K total compensation. That's fair. I think everyone is happy in very similar ways, but everyone is unhappy in their own way. I want to give weight and acknowledgement of that feeling. What I want to say is there is a solution that doesn't take up all that much time. It's the same amount of time to learn about stocks. You can learn about real estate, passive investing, or syndications. If you want to learn more, you can email us at hello@casualmarketplace.com. You may or may not have the right financial education, right? You never taught how to be financially free. You are learning it from your adulthood. That knowledge is competing against everything you have already known from your upbringing. And that's not, what's the best way to put it? That's not easy. My mission is to help folks develop good financial education in a very real way through real estate syndication investing. It's the most scalable way of investing. The skills that you learn will not just help you buy 5 rental properties. It will help you buy thousands of units. There's a huge difference. Passive investing has few advantages. One of the advantage is to help you get out of this rat race. And it does it in a very sustainable and scalable way. I can truly say passive investing can infinitely scale. Once you have passive income coming in, your life just becomes lighter. If you know that your family is taken care of without you working, and that even if you quit your job next day, your family can sustain indefinitely. You can still work to have a higher level of standard of living. Fair. Once you achieve that, I think your life will be, or at least I know my friend's life will be dramatically different, so much more beautiful. You can actually do work because you like the work and you like the people, and you don't have to work if you don't want to. And that optionality makes all the difference in your mental well-being. You won't feel like an imposter because you're actually doing something on the side. You wouldn't feel like the stress coming from work is gonna be so much because you have something else to look forward to. And you also know that you're not doing it to keep a job. You're doing it because you like the job. There's a huge difference between the two. You are also trying to achieve financial freedom, or at least what I want is through kindness. Financial freedom doesn't mean, it's not a zero-sum game. It's not like making someone else worse so that you can become better. Financial freedom is being able to invest in businesses that add value to the world. And one of those businesses is real estate syndication. Just to be clear, real estate syndication is actually a business that happens to invest in these real estate apartments. But fundamentally, it's run like a business. And it's kindness because in order for that business to succeed, they must provide good living conditions to their customers, which are the tenants. One of the benefits of investing in syndications is that you're adding value to the world. You're learning. You're definitely reaping the financial rewards. And you feel more lighthearted at work. This is coming from my personal experience. I'm working not because I want to get super wealthy or anything. I'm working because I am passionate about financial freedom. I want more people to have a taste of financial freedom. I understand what it feels like to be upper middle class and have not many people that can empathize with the pain that upper middle class may have. And I would like more people to experience financial freedom. So I'll leave you with this. Make a goal such that financial freedom is a worthwhile thing to pursue. Don't feel bad that, oh, I want money. That's a bad feeling. Don't think like that. Think like, if I have financial freedom, this is going to help me, my mental state, my mood, my work, my productivity. It's going to help the world, my family, my loved ones. If everyone doesn't have to work to survive, I think we will have a lot more creative endeavors. So that's what I will say. Again, thanks for watching and happy investing.